So, setup's great, takeaway's good, you're definitely turning into the trail heel now nicely, okay? As you go back on this left-hand one, okay, turn it. The feeling of you, as you said, you're dropping the club behind, is more you actually kind of from here sort of moving and sinking back yourself. So you kind of go here and sort of fall back yourself, which means the club does move back, but it's more you moving with it.
It's the body moving the club.
Exactly, or the body not moving correctly, okay? And as a result of that, when this hangs back too far, your weight goes back this way, you sort of sink into it. The club now is going to come a bit on the inside. Thinnies, blockies, hookies, the old fatty one, they're going to come in, okay? And you get that one there. And as we said, the recoil on this one here now, it comes back. It's done like that and comes back. And this foot doesn't really get that rotation up to the toe because this hip hasn't come out of the way, yeah? So that video I've sent you through about how that left hip, that piston system moving out of the way, getting your feet to this position as opposed to kind of not able to move, yeah? So the right hand one now, if we just watch the full swing now in terms of its finished position, you're able to rotate. Now the arms get a little bit out of control because they're not pretty sure where to go. Because hang on, whoa, what can I do? I've got a bit more range of motion. But certainly from here now, as you rotate, you shift into your left side. You see your head now saying a lot more on that line. It's squatting, but it's not moving backwards this way, which it was before. Okay, and then as you get here now, left hip's going to go backwards, which pulls you round the corner to a fuller finish. So you finish with, for me, that's more critical for the sort of 6-7 up to the longer clubs, yeah? Your wedges, yeah, okay, you can get away with it because it's a little bit more kind of 3/4 and the ball's a bit further back and all the different movements are slightly different. I'm not saying it's a different swing, but it's a bit more acceptable with a shorter club, yeah? But with a full swing, 6 and 7 and up, especially for the longer clubs, you need to make sure you get that lower half moving. Otherwise, that left hip from here now, you've turned into that right heel nicely. We're going to have a little bit of a bump and shift, which you do, okay? And then the movement now is the weight's going to go onto that left heel, but that left piston leg, as we said, going backwards, yeah? And that video I sent through, you get that feeling of how that left hip's going to clear out the way. The left hip going back causes the right hip to pivot and rotate around the corner. It's not you trying to move it, okay? As I said before, it was sort of hanging back and you weren't really turning. We're not trying to turn the right hip, we're trying to pull the left one back, yeah? And that effect gives a kind of a slingshot effect you were talking about. And again, up to a few yards by 10, 15 yards, yeah? More 5, 10 yards, yeah? Yeah, but you've got to be careful with that and then obviously recalibrate possibly what your yards are going to be. There's no point you say, oh, I'm going to make this further, and then it goes like 20 yards further, yeah? But it'd be worth maybe looking at the 6 sign you take out your bag, is it? And just see. Once you've got this sort of feeling of this movement better, perhaps taking the 6 and then, okay, what yards am I going to get? You might take a 5 out or a 4, then maybe a different club you move out of the bag. So I like the fact you've got the extra wedges. That to me is the important in the bag to get your yards correct. The top end, you might have to sort of jig around with that, but we'll see how it goes from there, okay? But yeah, definitely that lower half movement. And as you said, when you feel it right, it's like, oh, that feels different, I got a bit more movement. What you'll be careful of, as I said, if you, just to elaborate on here in terms of pictures, if in the swing, when you get here, you hang back, and I use the term hanging back, in this right heel, or you go this way, the type of contact you're going to get is going to be a little bit mat first, potentially off the toe of the club, because you're just effectively moving further from the ball, yeah? That makes sense, yeah? If you rotate and move around the corner more, you'll change your low point to more after the golf ball, but also move the club more towards the heel of towards the golf ball, yeah? So you've got to be careful not to try and then reach for where the ball may be used to have been, and then you start getting the old can't film the video, yeah? You know what I'm talking about. I can't even say it, yeah? All right? Does that make sense, though, yeah? So footwork on the way back's great, turning that right hip's really nice. It's just now that transition into the golf, but how that left hip's going to pivot and work, and again, even just doing that there. Any thought when you're doing that of what you don't think about turning hips, you just think, okay, you just straighten up that left leg and you pivot back on that left foot, don't you? So those things happen, and I would say in the back garden, it's quite a good drill to hit the ball with just one arm, just to get that sensation of how your right arm swings through with that left hip and the finger on that left hip for you, mate. Okay.